Hello everybody, today we're doing a video for GTA car kits and a 2006 Lexus GX, and today we're going to be installing our pure Bluetooth car kit. We're going to start off with what tools you'll need. You'll need a 10mm socket with an extension, a panel removal tool, some sort of a hook, and the kit. I'll show you what comes in the kit and what we're going to be installing. So you have the module in the middle. This is the harness cable that we're going to plug in directly at the back of the radio. We're also gonna run the auxiliary cable, and we're gonna wire a microphone into the A pillar right here. And there's an option while you're running the auxiliary cable to run your charging cable, because we have a USB charging port on our kit. So we're gonna start taking this car apart. First thing we're gonna do is remove the two shift knobs. So they simply screw off. And once you screw it off, you can just use the panel removal tool in order to separate the shift knob. Now we're gonna do the small one. The small one doesn't need that step to separate it from the boot. Once you do that, we're gonna go ahead and remove these two panels, starting with them. So we're just gonna use our panel removal tool to get underneath. So that's one panel. And I just want to mention this panel and this one right here, when you're putting it back, make sure you put this end first, and then it's held on clips, so you just clip it back in. So here, I'm gonna get underneath here, and it comes off. Also, this has clips, and this thing that you have to first put it in while you're putting it back. Now we're gonna take the gray part of the center console. So just gonna work our way around it. And as you can see, it's all loose now. So we're doing this because we're gonna be wiring the auxiliary cable and pretty much leaving the module and everything underneath here. Also helps to separate this panel from the bigger panel in order to get more room. So that's enough for now. The next panel, which we're gonna take off, is the one right here with your heated seat switches. Just held on clips, and we're just gonna drop it down. So this gives us a lot of room to run the wire, and I'll show you how that all gonna work out. So the next thing is to remove these two side panels. So we're gonna use the hook, or you can use your panel removal tool to grab it underneath and kind of pull it towards yourself. Comes off, and there's a connection here, so we're gonna press on the clip. So you have to press on this little black clip to remove it. So that's one side, same with the other side. And also there's this white clip that you gotta press and remove it. So this car has a built-in CD changer inside the glove box, so that's gonna be, once you install the kit, it's gonna be disabled. Just letting you know that. And before we show you that, there's another panel which you have to remove underneath the radio. Is this for the cigarette lighter and the storage pocket. And to get more room, we're just gonna disconnect this small connection, but we're gonna leave those two. Now we can move it to the side. And now we're almost there to take out the radio. So there's 4 bolts in total, 2 on each side. So there's one right here, one on top, and same on this side. So we're gonna go ahead and use our 10mm socket with an extension and remove these 4 bolts. So now that the 4 bolts are removed, the radio can come out, and just simply grab it. There's another about 4 clips holding it, so just carefully remove it. And there's something holding it on this, it's the harness on the left side, so you can just kind of turn the radio, and that's will be more than enough for you to see and do what you have to do in order to connect our kit. So there's this connection right here, so we're gonna disconnect it, and this is the connection for the CD changer in the glove box. So you just simply remove it, and then we're gonna plug in our harness instead, just like that. Once you do that, we're gonna drop this harness behind the radio, and we're gonna put the radio back. We're gonna catch the connection at the bottom here and kind of pull it. So the main goal is to have the harness cable connected at the back of the radio, and then coming all the way here to the middle console. And then we're going to show you later how to connect everything together. So this is the harness cable that goes into our module, so we can connect it now. And now we're going to show you, because I mentioned earlier there's a microphone, we're going to show you how to run the microphone all the way from the A-pillar underneath this panel right here and to the middle console, so we can connect it to the module. So when we open the door, first thing we're gonna do is we're kind of move this rubber to the side. That's in order to feed the wire through. So we're gonna start at the top here. I'm gonna put the microphone on the inside, and then we're gonna fish it out. Before we do that, we have to remove this panel underneath the steering wheel, and we're gonna use our panel removal tool to get this small wooden piece out. Once you do that, you're gonna see here a 10mm bolt, which we're gonna use our 10mm socket with an extension to remove. Once you remove it, you're gonna grab this panel, and it just drops down. I don't know if you can see here, we're also gonna drop it down where you insert your key. So we're gonna use our panel removal tool, and you see the whole panel drops down. And this piece, you gotta replace it after you put this panel back, and that's around the key. Make sure you don't lose it. So once we have this panel drop down, we're gonna get our microphone wire underneath there. Now we're gonna reinstall the rubber back with the wire nicely tucked in, so it's not visible anywhere. Make sure you take your time when you do it. And now we're gonna keep fishing the wire behind these panels. So the whole goal is to have this wire completely hidden once you reinstall everything. So as you can see, it's already halfway there. And so now we're gonna show you from the inside how to continue. So we're gonna continue on this side to fish the wire. Make sure you take your time. There's a lot of sharp metal behind here. You just gotta be careful. So we're gonna tuck the wire in, and then we have to get it over this panel in order to get it on inside where our module is. It also helps if you have smaller fingers. So here I caught it on the inside. So Just gonna pull it through. So as you can see, it's coming out of here. This is where this panel sits. So you gotta drop it the same way we drop down our harness cable behind this panel in order to catch it there underneath. Just gotta grab it with my hands. Here you go. So now it's on the inside behind the dash. At this point you can put this panel back, and now we're just gonna connect it to our microphone slot and the module. So at this point you can start putting the car back together. So we're gonna, helps if the door is open in order to get this panel back. So it's simply, and this is the piece that I mentioned earlier. You have to make sure to put it back. Okay, and then we're gonna put the 10mm bolt back later on. At this point you can also put this panel back. And I want to mention there's a few places to run the auxiliary cable and the optional charging cable in this car. So one would be into this small pocket, which you would have to drill a hole into. It's up to you where you want to run it. But we're going to be showing you how to run it over here into this center piece. So we're going to just, that's why we're putting this panel back. And at this point you can already start putting your bolts back for the radio, the 4 bolts. So now you end up with this. So you have the module with the microphone cable. The only thing that is not wired is the auxiliary cable and the optional charging cable. So next step that we're gonna do here is to help us run the cable into this compartment is we're gonna remove the cup holders, and I'll show you how. So it's held on by these 2 clips, and it really helps if you get your fingers underneath and push the panel out. And once you do that, it clears all the space in order for you to fish the wire. So now we're just gonna use our drill to drill a hole into this compartment so we can run the auxiliary wire. So the hole is going to be very unnoticeable, so you shouldn't worry about that if you decide to run here. Even though we're drilling a hole, so don't be too worried. We're going to take our drill, kind of tilt it down here. That's it. So we're gonna take our auxiliary cable and then you gotta make sure to clean this up. We'll take our auxiliary cable, put it in here. As you can see, we're just gonna run it and connect it to our module. That's our goal. Here we go. And there's a port for the AUX. And at this point, like I mentioned before, you can run your charging cable also to the middle console. And once you do all this, you're pretty much done and you can put the car back together. So like I said, we're gonna leave the module somewhere here. Tuck it in so it doesn't bounce around, make any noises. And then we're gonna put this panel back. First, you have to put the panel with your heated switches for heated seats first. Then you're gonna put this panel, the side panels, and now we're gonna show you how everything works once we put everything back. So now we're gonna demonstrate how everything works. We put everything back. The only thing that you can see is the microphone and the auxiliary cable. So now we're gonna turn the car to accessory position to turn on the radio. And you have about 1 minute to pair to the Bluetooth. And I forgot to mention earlier, we suggest to use our Bluetooth over the stock Lexus Bluetooth for your phone calls also, because if you connect to your car system for phone calls and to our system, it's gonna interfere. So we suggest connecting to ours and forgetting the Bluetooth that you have in your Lexus factory installed. So you have about 1 minute to pair since turning the car on. So right here it shows up GTA Car Kit. We're gonna pair to it. And the mode that I'm using, you have to use the CD changer mode. So you probably had this mode before, but that was for the CD changer in the glove box, and now this mode works for our Bluetooth that we have here. So we're gonna go to our music and start playing. So the volume is turned up almost all the way up on the phone, and then the rest we control from the actual audio system. So if you have next track available, you can switch the music by your steering wheel controls or by your seek track controls on the radio. As you see, everything's working and there's no wires connected to it. Now we're gonna demonstrate what happens in the phone call. So for the phone call, you gotta be in our kids mode, which is the CD changer mode on your radio. And the music is gonna pause and you're gonna hear a ring, and there's two ways to answer. You can either do it from the actual phone or through the radio by pressing next track. There you go, so the phone call is coming through. So we're gonna answer by pressing next track, and the phone call is answered. And to hang up, we're gonna do the same thing, next track. And we're back to playing our music. So it's pretty simple to use. And if we go and we're gonna press the disc button, actually audio button. So you see here we're in the CD changer mode and in disc 1. So disc 1 is for Bluetooth, and if you want to do the auxiliary cable that we wired, we're gonna switch to disc 2. So the Bluetooth stops, so now you can connect the auxiliary cable. Choose a song, make sure to turn the volume up, and it's playing through auxiliary. But with the auxiliary, we suggest to use non-Bluetooth devices, because with the Bluetooth you have control over the radio, but with the auxiliary you have to control everything on your phone except for the volume. And that's pretty much it. So again, this was a video for GTA Car Kits on how to install our pure Bluetooth car kit in the Lexus GX. I hope you liked the video, and we'll see you next time.